Good morning. Usually today we will be having our annual fireworks safety presser to remind residents to observe the holiday safety and responsibility, but we are still in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, and like everything else this year, today will be a little different. As of yesterday, the city has 7,607 reported cases, 106 people hospitalized with COVID-19, and 327 deaths. I'm up here to ensure our residents have the most up-to-date and accurate information so they in turn can make smart and informed decisions for themselves and their families. We remain focused on continuing to scale up our response to this emergency to ensure residents of our city have the resources and support they need at this time while continuing to leverage the wealth of medical and public health expertise here in Baltimore. I want to remind residents that they are encouraged to call their doctor or 211 for coronavirus symptoms, screening, and to be connected to a physician for assessment. I also want to remind residents of the invaluable resources available at coronavirus.baltimorecity.gov. As we approach the holiday weekend, I want to remind residents that the coronavirus is still very much present in Baltimore City. All residents should celebrate the holiday with those individuals in their household. We strongly advise against large gatherings. And as always, we strongly advise everyone to continue to practice social distancing, wear a face covering, and washing your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. We need residents to continue the mitigation efforts to help ensure that the trend experienced elsewhere across the country are not felt here in Baltimore City. And again, I want to thank the majority of Baltimoreans who have heeded the warnings and followed the guidelines. We will continue to monitor data daily, and if things take a turn for the worse, I will not hesitate to reinstate restrictions. Now I would ask Baltimore City Health Commissioner Letitia DeRosa to update you on our COVID-19 responses.
Thank you, Mayor Young. Today marks almost 2 weeks since we moved into Phase 2 reopening for Baltimore City. I would like to thank all of the residents who have been heeding the guidance that we've provided about social distancing and wearing cloth face coverings. I'd also like to thank business owners who have created and implemented plans to keep both their employees and patrons safe. Last, I'd like to thank our most vulnerable residents, our older adults, and those with underlying health conditions who have made the tough decisions to only go out for essential reasons. A lot of our city residents have been responsible, and I personally appreciate it. We are now averaging a little over 1,200 tests per day in the city, and our overall positivity rate is 11.3%. On our most recent 7-day average, the positivity rate was 4.6%. However, we still have zip codes in the city with positivity levels as high as 22%. This serves as a stark reminder that this pandemic persists and continues to pose a threat to the health and well-being of every city resident. Wearing a mask or face cloth covering is one of the most important things an individual can do to limit the spread of disease as he or she goes out in public. I applaud the widespread usage of face masks that I'm seeing throughout the city. However, I also see a trend where residents are wearing their masks improperly. Wearing your face mask or cloth covering so that it covers both your nose and your mouth is the appropriate way to wear a mask. If you are only wearing a face mask to cover your mouth, you are not providing the optimal protection for your family, friends, or others you may come in contact with. Please wear your face mask properly, covering both your nose and your mouth when you're out in public places and socially distancing is challenging. The recent lifting of mass gathering restrictions come with the understanding that if you are choosing to go out during an active pandemic, you are taking a certain amount of risk. If you choose to go out, I would also ask that you take every possible precaution to protect yourself and others, especially wearing a face mask over your nose and your mouth and practicing social distancing. As we head into the 4th of July weekend, we understand that people will want to socialize and come together, but as Mayor Young indicated, we would ask that you would avoid large and mass gatherings. If you do choose to be around other people, it is safer to be outdoors than it is to be indoors. Remember to document where you went and who you were in contact with. If later there was a particular event or gathering that was a super spreader event, and our contact tracers need that information to reduce the chances of further disease transmission. Over this holiday weekend, temperatures are expected to be very warm in the city. We want everyone to be prepared and know how to protect themselves from extreme heat. As an urban area, Baltimore is highly susceptible to the heat island effect that occurs when a city experiences much warmer temperatures than nearby rural areas because of the many surfaces that retain heat. Heat islands can worsen the impact of extreme heat, particularly for the young, the older adults, and those with underlying medical conditions. Heat is also one of the leading weather-related killers in the United States, resulting in hundreds of fatalities each year and even more heat-related illnesses. Some things to remember during the summer months are to stay indoors if possible in air-conditioned spaces. If air conditioning is not available, pull the shades over windows and use cross ventilation and fans to cool rooms, and consider a cool shower or bath. Drink plenty of water, avoid alcohol and caffeine. Keep a wet cloth handy to cool off your skin. Eat well-balanced, light, and regular meals. Avoid using salt tablets unless directed to do so by a physician. Never leave children or animals in a parked vehicle, even for short periods of time. Leaving a window open is not enough. Pets can also suffer from heat-related illnesses. Bring your pets indoors and give them plenty of fresh, cold water and protection from heat and sun. Even though it's hot, it's still important to wear your face mask over your nose and your mouth in public settings. Finally, I'd like to remind residents that fireworks are dangerous and can cause serious harm. They can cause death and injury, including burns and other damage to the hands or the eyes. Children may be especially vulnerable to harm from fireworks and should be supervised during the 4th of July festivities. Never allow young children to play with or ignite fireworks, and make sure you, your kids, and others watch fireworks from a safe distance. Call 911 immediately if someone is injured from fireworks. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Dr. Devasa. When I think of the 4th of July, I always get excited because I know I have the opportunity to see a great fireworks display. And I can't recall missing a firework production in honor of Independence Day. One of those decisions was to cancel the 4th of July celebration that's put on each year by the Baltimore Office of Promotion and the Arts. And it pained me to cancel a tradition that has been a staple for decades in Baltimore City. But as we safely move Baltimore forward, I want to remind everyone that setting off fireworks and lighting sparklers in Baltimore City are both illegal and dangerous. I encourage everyone to find safe alternatives in lieu of fireworks and sparklers. Over the past few weeks, if not longer, there have been several complaints to our police department about the loud and lengthy sounds of fireworks throughout many neighborhoods and throughout the night. While this is extremely disruptive to the community, it is illegal. In fact, I've had several conversations with Police Commissioner Harrison about this, which he will address. But Baltimore, please celebrate safely. There are other fun alternatives to fireworks and sparklers. Now I will turn it over to Deputy Chief Roman Clark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you very much for your leadership. Like Mayor Young stated, unfortunately, the fireworks display was canceled this year due to the unexpected pandemic. But even with the cancellation, fireworks, sparklers are still illegal in Baltimore City. They are also extremely dangerous. If you make the decision to use fireworks, sparklers, remember, you're putting yourself and others at risk. As a public safety agency, our goal is to ensure the safety of all residents and visitors of Baltimore. I personally would have never imagined a 4th of July without fireworks. Yet, unfortunately, here we are. So please remember to celebrate safely and legally. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Lieutenant Del Holmes of the Fire Marshal's Office.
Good morning, everyone. As Mayor Young mentioned, as well as Commander Clark, fireworks are illegal in Baltimore City. But I really would like everyone to remember that they're also very dangerous. Over the past several years, fireworks have caused life-changing injuries. With that being said, there are no safe fireworks. Thousands of injuries are seen in the U.S. ER each year due to fireworks being mishandled, causing all types of body part injuries. Firecrackers in large and small contribute to 11% of ER treatments. Rockets contribute to 6%, and other devices contribute 24%, like Roman candles and sparklers. Sparklers, thought to be safe for kids each year, are considered very dangerous. They can reach temperatures up to 2,000 degrees. Eye injuries account for 19%. Sparklers are major eye injuries that cause permanent damage, and never point or throw, pick up unexploded fireworks or hold them in your hand. Hand and finger injuries account for 28% of injuries seen in the ER each year. While the firework display may be canceled in Baltimore this year, we strongly encourage and urge residents to consider safe alternatives and enjoy a safe holiday, such as using glow sticks, noisemakers, confetti-filled balloons, or maybe even setting up a projector outside and viewing online fireworks displays. Safety during this time is such a priority to everyone this 4th of July. But whatever you do, please make sure that you celebrate safely and enjoy the 4th of July this year. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Harris.
Thank you and good morning. The Baltimore Police Department is aware of the many complaints related to fireworks over the past few weeks. Fireworks are not only illegal in Baltimore City, but they are extremely dangerous. They can cause, as you've heard, loss of vision, severe burns, and other serious injuries, and even fires. So not only can they cause physical harm, but they can cause anxiety, stress, loss of sleep to our neighbors, and even pets. Our officers continue to respond to calls for service and are not only looking for those lighting fireworks and committing these offenses, but also examining locations and searching for illegally processed fireworks. The BPD is committed to working with the residents of Baltimore City to keep our neighborhoods safe, and we continue to work with our communities to identify and hold accountable those who are causing harm to our neighborhoods. Members of the community are encouraged to report locations where fireworks are being stored, ignited, and even sold. As always, if you see something, say something. Those who wish to remain anonymous can utilize the Metro Crime Stoppers tip line at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP or simply dial 911. And finally, we have a robust deployment strategy for this weekend to make sure we are highly visible and highly engaged, covering all parts of the city to make sure we have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July weekend. Thank you. This time I turn it back over to our mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrison. Thank you to everyone, and again, we just want everyone to have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July holiday. Finally, today we are excited to announce our Baltimore City Recreation and Parks reopening plan. This will include pools, athletic courts, and playgrounds. Many of the agency services were suspended due to COVID-19. Rec centers and rec center operated sports and nature facilities were temporarily closed. Special and park permitted events were canceled, and city-owned athletic courts and playgrounds were secured from public use. As of today, Thursday, July the 2nd, Baltimore City Recreation and Parks will readily restore with modification and new guidelines, numerous services. And now I will turn it over to Director of Recs and Parks, Reggie Moore.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Young. I want to thank the senior administrators as well as our governance committee and also our team from BCRP for them working together to come up with a strategy and a plan that we can safely reopen some of our operations for the city of Baltimore. As the mayor stated earlier, one of our first activities that we're bringing back online is our Be More Summer Fun Camps. We mentioned that a couple of weeks ago at a press conference. It's an outdoor recreation camp site. It's going to be at 20 different locations, 45 kids, which is a great opportunity to get kids out of their homes in a way that they can be active and fun activities. Additionally, more information about Be More Summer Fun is, of course, the activity will be from Monday through Fridays from 8:30 to 3:30. And also, for those families who still don't feel comfortable, maybe their kids being a part of the camp, we still have an active virtual recreation website that you can continue to have activities and programs, and we continue to update that daily. The second biggest piece, I think, is people have been asking is, what is the status of swimming pools? Well, today we're excited to announce that Baltimore City Rec and Parks will be reopening a limited number of pools with new restrictions to make sure that we're in support and following the procedures and the protocols during this COVID-19 pandemic. Starting July 13th, we will open 5 of our park pools. And starting July 20th, we will open up the remaining 5 neighborhood pools. So this year, we're operating 10 of our pools. Key information I would like to stress to participants that are interested in coming to our pools. Starting July 6th, you can start registering for a time slot to swim in our pools. Our pools will be in 1.5 hour increments. It is important to stress that they will not be allowed to walk up to our pools this year. It is important that they pre-register before coming to the pools. Also, upon arrival to the pools, they will be checked into the pools. There will be a temperature check before participants are allowed to enter the pool sites. In addition, I would like to stress that as we continue to open and operate the pools, that there will not be any extended days for Code Red. Also, there's 2 ways that you can register. I lost my train of thought. It is by phone, or you will be able to register on our website. And this information will be found on our website, and I will share that website in just a few minutes. Also, I know people have been eager about outdoor equipment, as far as fitness equipment, our outdoor courts. We're here to announce, too, that starting July 13th, we will officially reopen our playgrounds and our fitness equipment. I stress to parents as well as participants that are using our equipment to bring your hand sanitizer to sanitizer stations. Baltimore City Parks and Rec will not be sanitizing this equipment daily, so we want to stress that to parents. Also, July 13th, we will be reopening our basketball courts, and in all our facilities that we're reopening, there will be detailed signage, and we're asking the community to please abide by the signage. What we want to do is make sure that we give you an opportunity to many different recreational opportunities, but we do not want to start or create a spread to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we encourage everyone to follow our rules and procedures. And I will close with a website that you can find all this information, as well as information about permits that maybe people are interested in, athletic fields and those things. You can find that at bcrp.baltimorecity.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Now we'll take a few questions.
Mayor, some mayors and governors around the country have dialed back some of their reopening allowances due to the spike in cases that's going on in more than 30 states. Have you considered doing that in Baltimore?
If I see an increase in COVID-19 cases, like I said the last time I had a press conference, I would not hesitate to scale back. I can't hear you. That's their choice. Thank you.
May we ask the commissioner a question?
Which one?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Regarding the spy plane, will you be this weekend? Have there been any arrests at all?
There have not been any arrests, and to my knowledge, it is, unless there's some kind of inclement weather or something that prohibits it from flying, it's likely to fly. All right?
Is there anything new on the shooting yesterday involving the person who was experiencing a behavioral crisis in Northeast Baltimore?
There's no new update. He is still in critical but stable condition.
Was the crisis intervention team that the city's been using called to that event?
I don't have that information handy at the very moment. We have officers who are trained in what's called the BEST training. That's an acronym, but we are working to train all of our members, or a large portion of the patrol service, in crisis intervention, which is a 40-hour course. We were set to begin that. Of course, COVID hit. We have to figure out how to resume that, pulling people back into the classroom to bring about crisis intervention training, which is very important. And in this case, the person was heavily armed, and so it was most appropriate for police to handle this one. Maybe not all of them, but certainly this one.
And you and the officers were told that in responding to the firm.
I believe there was some information about that. All right. Thank you.